is Road to Close with your host, Brian Teyssier.
I am Brian Teyssier. Welcome to episode 2. Super excited to have you. So, did you hear about the realtor that was 3 feet tall? He has a specialization. Want to guess? Specializes in short sales. Why didn't the hipster realtor sell the Oceanside mansion? Because the mansion was just too current. So I'm saving my best jokes for the middle here. How much did the chimney cost to fix? Take a guess. $1,000, $2,000, or free because it was on the house. Quiz time. I like quizzes. How many houses did the developer sell on the golf course? 4! All right, how many ants does it take to get a positive cash flow in your rental unit? 10 ants. It is tenants. All right, we got a great show for you. We have a broker, manager, owner in Florida. He's going to come and talk to us about why you should not sit on the fence as a buyer or a seller in these crazy real estate market times. All right, stay tuned. So I am Brian Teyssier. Welcome to episode number 2 of Road to Close, and I am here with Eddie Arroyo. Say it.
Arguelles.
Arguelles. So
Think
listen.
of it as our way is.
So I screwed that up on purpose. I really know how to say it. I've been saying his name for at least the past year or maybe just the last 5 minutes. But the reason why you need to understand it is because you're going to be buying a lot of homes from Eddie here in the Jupiter area. Ed, I know you're not just in Jupiter area, right. So tell me exactly where else you are.
So first of all, thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Appreciate being here. The short answer is we service the Treasure Coast area, which is basically Palm Beach Gardens up into Vero Beach. And that's basically our area, which is a popular area from people moving from up north. So we're very busy here. We love it here. It's a little bit quieter lifestyle in case you're not looking for Miami.
So I'm going to go a little off script here. I do this all the time. Is why would a northerner want to move down here?
Listen, it's a no-brainer. I'm looking out the window straight ahead of us here. And we have yachts and sunshine and palm trees, and that's exactly why people move here. Yeah, we've been blessed with some beautiful fortune and weather here lately, so whenever it's cold and miserable up north, they're knocking on our door.
Yeah, so you Pennsylvanians, Michiganans, Wisconsians, Green Bayans, we know what kind of weather you have up there because we watch the national news. I shouldn't say we, I'm still in Pittsburgh. I still have to deal with that weather as well. But again, I'm going to confirm what he is saying. I'm looking at the back of 3 yachts. The sun is hot and I had the air conditioning on. But enough about the nice weather. Let's just get right into it. So the question on everybody's mind is, it really doesn't matter what market it is. Why should I buy now? And that was originally what we were going to do, but then we threw in, why should I sell now? Because every market is different. Every market presents different opportunities, different challenges. He's been in the market 20 years. I've been 15. We have seen buyers markets, balanced markets, and crazy sellers markets. So what do you want to start with, buyers or sellers, and what do we think about that?
Well, I mean, the first one that comes to mind is buyers, because there's just buyers are so incredibly hungry right now to find something. Why is it a good time to buy? It's because although the prices, some people are put off by the fact that our values are so high, but the fact of the matter is this is still Florida. This is still a place where I kind of mentioned earlier where people like to come and retire, have second or third homes. This weather will never change. And really, as you compare to other destinations, the price point still, even in what some would consider an inflated market, is still very favorable compared to many other places.
Yeah, I mean, you have the standard answer as well, and that's interest rates are so super low for those people. Do you see a lot of cash versus mortgage deals in your area?
Anytime I tell people this, excuse me, they're very surprised at the fact that the majority of the deals that we're doing are cash. So these are people that have had money, sitting on the sidelines, but want to invest it in a nice place like this. Now, by and large, of course, the majority of the population are looking to buy something in the 300 to 700 range, and most of those are getting mortgages. So yes, I encourage them to take advantage. So when they come to me and they say, Eddie, but the price is X, it's more than last year, I say yes, but you really need to sit down and do the math, because if you work out the math and you do the finances, you'll realize that taking advantage of that low interest rate now is going to save you money. If you're telling me, Eddie, I'm going to sell this house in 2 or 3 years, maybe the math isn't in your favor, but if you're going to sit still here for 10, 15, 20, the 30-year mortgage, you need to be buying now.
Yeah, there's something to build on with the interest rate is interest rates are only going to go up. NAR, National Association of Realtors, sends us an email every day, and I keep seeing it that interest rates are going to go up. They've been saying that for 2 or 3 years, but it is eventually going to happen. So what Eddie's saying is the amount the interest rate goes up is going to cost you more over 30 years, even if the price of the house lowers just a smidge. So, and I say this to all buyers in every price point, cash or mortgage, stop sitting on the sidelines. You got to get in. If you want a house, you can be enjoying this house for 2 years at a nice low interest rate, even though you may have paid more for it. The home prices are going to continue to go up because people, because of the recent activities that's going on in the world, have decided they want to be in the same compound with the entire family. So they're buying houses. That's why, you know, we didn't have a lot of cash deals that I used to see. And I always thought, oh, people can barely make the down payment and all that. But now they've always had cash and now they're ready to part with it because of the current health conditions we have going on. So I think that interest rate over 30 years going up is going to not play in your favor if you're waiting doing the waiting game.
I absolutely echo that. You know, getting into the game is critical. You're right. There's a lot of sideline overthinking, I think, and there's other advantages. There's tax advantages when it comes to, you know, buying those properties as well, and as well as there's other ways to leverage that property, even if you're not going to live it full time. I have a wonderful pool of investors that we do a lot of short-term rentals, and that is very lucrative as well. So if you're not living in the home all the time, you can absolutely leverage it and have your expenses covered and then some.
So two things I wanted to touch on. One is, do they Airbnb short-term rental?
Yes.
Wow, Airbnb is huge again, I'm from the Pittsburgh market and Florida market. No matter where I'm at, Airbnb is huge. I have people reaching out to me about that all the time. And you brought up tax. You're from Florida. It's probably just it's probably nothing to you, but for non-Floridian, Wisconsinians, Michiganans,
Chicagoans, New Yorkers, yeah.
Tell them, I'm going to do trivia a little bit later, but I'm going to throw trivia out now. What is the number one reason those people should consider Florida?
Well, besides the weather, I would say those tax advantages, if that's what you're getting at.
They are. So I don't think a lot of people don't know this. Floridians do not pay state income tax.
And by and large, for, you know, real estate property taxes are far less. You know, I always get the Eddie, but are you sure it's only $8,000 a year? I pay up in here, X town, I'm paying $35,000 a year in interest. It's like, wow, that's a mortgage and then some for most people.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's put a pin in the button in the buyers. Reasons why you should buy now. I'll give one just in review what we already talked about. No state income tax. Give me another one.
The favorable weather.
Favorable weather year-round, I would
Year-round.
say. Absolutely. Another reason is?
The investment potential.
Okay, investment potential. Is it just this coast or is it both coasts, do you think?
It's really both coasts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Another one is if you sit on the sidelines, that interest rate's just going to go up. So if the home value would so happen to go down over a 30-year mortgage, you're not going to realize exactly your goal of sitting on the sidelines to save money. I mean, house values are just going up. They've always gone up. Have they ever gone down over here?
I mean, we all felt that crunch about a dozen years ago,
right,
when the market did what it did. But other than that, it's just appreciated since then.
Okay. So buyers, if you have any questions, put them in the comments below, no matter where you're seeing this. Eddie's YouTube, our Facebooks, Instagrams, LinkedIn. Put the comments below either on his contact info or my contact info, and one of us will get back to you if you have any questions about really anywhere in the United States when it comes to buying. It's relatively similar across the nation, and we'd be happy to help you out and get you in the right direction. All right, so we talked about buyers, sellers. You're probably thinking, why are they so biased against us? Come on, sellers, you're not paying attention to the market. Do you not realize what of a Christmas gift you have 365? I mean, I know it's Christmas season. I see the Christmas tree over here. We'll put a little Christmas tree in. But you guys have had it made for 2-3 years now. Tell me, sellers, why should they sell now?
It is absolutely a no-brainer. The appreciation has been incredible. I've had conversations with families that I've been able to help just in the last year or two, just to stay in touch, say hello, and say, did you happen to notice your house is now worth an extra $100,000? And that, for many families, can be life-changing, to either pull that money out to utilize it for other things, or certainly to leverage that asset and buy others.
Yeah, and you know, I have a real estate coach, and that's one of the big things they talk to us about getting listings is not so much to sell your past clients on the fact that their home is worth more than it's ever been, but really to kind of enlighten them, which is what Eddie just nailed absolutely perfectly, and that is, you're sitting at home, you may have a 5-year plan, maybe a 2-year plan, 3-year plan, 5-year plan, 7-year plan, or 10-year plan. So we don't know what those rates are, we don't know what the value is going to be. It may be more, maybe equal, maybe a little bit more, whatever. But we are encouraged as realtors to reach out to those people and just educate them and say, your house may be worth $100,000 more now. And I've personally represented sellers that bought their home a year ago. Life changed, decided to sell it within 1 year. They broke, some of them broke even with, as a seller, you pay both sides of the commission and different states transfer taxes and a whole bunch of other fees. You could have 5 to 8% just gone. So they recovered 5 to 8% of that, and some of them even made money. Sure. So what you're saying is spot on.
Can I give you a quick example?
Yeah, please.
Absolutely. Okay, great. So my trainer at the gym, he says, Eddie, my wife and I are ready to sell our house. I said, okay, great. Hey, listen, thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thanks for thinking of me. So I go and I meet with them, and we talk. We sit at the table and we're talking, and I said, you know what? I don't want to sell your house. So from a realtor's perspective, was like, Eddie, why wouldn't you take the listing, right? You're going to make commission. And as I saw them, I said, they're a young family. I said, let me try to massage this or change this up for you a little bit. I said, why don't we do this? I said, why don't we have your house refinanced? So I connected them with a lender
Great.
that I'm really fond of, very astute. I said, why don't we refinance this property? You pay off the current mortgage, you pay off some debts that you have, and why don't we reinvest in the ability to buy investment properties?
That's great.
And in his eyes lit up, and I said, from here on, I want you to think about amassing properties and building a portfolio for your family to have this generational wealth starting now. And as a matter of fact, they're ready to buy a duplex. So we refinanced their current home, they're not selling it, they're living in it, and they're able to then leverage what they've already accomplished in that home, asset-wise, equity-wise, and be able to buy another property. So now they're just going to have income coming in.
That's amazing. So, I don't want to sound like we're some sort of doctor that we're, making everybody's lives so much better.
But
But
you do this long enough, you figure stuff out.
yeah, he just made someone's life better in the fact that they may have been going down a road, a path that may have been good for them, but is not the best decision for them. So he just turned them into an investor, potentially. I'm not sure what the outcome is. I don't know if there is an outcome yet.
We're under contract.
Okay, they're under contract. So he just turned them into an investor. And I've known some people that decided to buy a couple of investment properties, and they're, white collar workers, went to college for this, got a job in that, making 6 figures, and they became investors, and they decided they'd rather be investors instead of whatever their job was. So in doing that, you may have just changed the trajectory for a better life for these people.
It's humbling.
Yeah, it is very humbling.
It's very humbling, and it's a really nice place to be after you've had, like you and I have had enough success in our careers where it's like, I don't have to do it for that extra buck. But if I can help them, with the stuff I know,
Yep.
I mean, how beautiful is that?
Right.
That's the Christmas gift under the tree.
So if you need to make more money in your life, you contact Eddie. He's a life changer. You got a headache, he knows the medicine for it. But I mean, so that's a different subject, but we're going to touch on it.
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it. Whenever we first started this podcast, we decided, hey, let's throw out a couple subjects we thought would be interesting. But you touched on it, and that is not needing. Let's just be candid. We have worked enough to the point, made enough money where we don't need to have every single sale, every single dollar. And that's different from somebody that might be a little bit newer with a little less experience, and their interest may be skewed towards the self-serving. That's fantastic. Thanks for helping me out with that.
Yeah.
Versus an expert real estate agent who's been in that. I say that all the time. You want to work with a trusted expert in your area, no matter where you are in the United States, because more likely than not, there are people like Eddie and I that are looking out for your best interest. We'll do a job. We know we're going to get paid. It's on the back burner. That's tertiary. That's secondary. We don't go for that almighty dollar. If you work with somebody that's a little less experienced, a little newer, they may be a little more self-serving to their needs and not yours. And what his example was, he just proved that he's definitely not a self-serving type of realtor.
Well, I appreciate that, and that's kind of where you want to get in life, right? At some point, you want to do for others, and it's just nice to be in this. After 21 years, if I was doing it right, I've earned this position and I can do it. So I love doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that'll be a lifetime. So there's 2 benefits here. There's a benefit to Eddie because he is a lifelong client, and it's a benefit to you if you're the buyer or seller because you know you could trust somebody. I mean, if you have families, you go to a doctor for your children, you trust them. Your pet, you trust them. Your car, you trust them. I mean, put us realtors in the same category for crying out loud. Trust us.
And if I may for a moment, just
Yeah.
the idea of, being a realtor, people think that you're just there for the commission, but I would encourage any realtors that are doing it right, that are in this business right now, that are getting started, if you want to look at it from a selfish perspective, let's put that lens on for a moment. The people that you help will always see you as the person to go to. And they are the first ones to scream it from the top of the mountain that if you're thinking about real estate, you have to call Eddie.
Yep.
Or you have to call Brian.
Right.
And if you're serving in that capacity, it's your business is going to grow. So you're just dropping goodwill all over the place, and people are seeing it, and they're just going to talk about who you are and what you do.
Absolutely.
And so business comes to you from that.
And that's nationwide. So again, I keep mentioning,
absolutely.
if you're in Wisconsin, Michigan, or any of those northern places, and you don't have a real estate agent you trust, I tell people this all the time. Feel free to reach out to me. Sure, I'm only in 2 markets. Feel free to reach out to Eddie.
Absolutely.
But I don't know about you, but whenever I get asked to refer to a different state, I actually research. I don't just look for someone inside the companies that I work for. I actually research them. I even reach out to them and I Google them. I see what their social media is doing. I see what their Zillow is doing. And then I pick 3 and then I send it off to the buyer or seller I'm referring. And I say, you pick one. Here's why I like these 3. And that really helps them trust us as experts. Because as a realtor, we are trusted advisors. I know that saying is out there, but that is exactly what we strive to be.
100%. Why are you and I connected and sitting at this table right now?
Right.
Right? Is because we had a conversation. We saw we shared a mutual vision. We looked at each other's social medias, right? So we know that we're about sharing a similar message. And so the more you're able to combine those people in your network, and then when someone has a need, you're just like, I know who to connect you to.
Yep.
And that's a great place to be.
And I'll give you a quick tip, something I've always done, and since I was only selling 1 house a year, and that is if you run into an agent that's showing you houses and they point out the negatives, that's an agent you can trust. That is somebody saying, look at the roof, that could be a problem, or the furnace is old. Instead of, that's not a salesman, that's a realtor. And I've done that. I've always treated my buyers as if they were my own children. So if you buyers in different states and you're not using Eddie or I, that's a dumb move. That's a dumb move. You should be moving down here to South Florida and using us anyway. Just test out your buyer's agent and see maybe you know things about furnaces. You know what's good or bad. If they're trying to sleazy sell you, then you should probably consider using a different buyer's agent. How do you handle buyers like that?
I always lead with, this is what I would do.
Okay.
I use that. I say those words. This is what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
If I was buying this house, this is what I would do.
Yep.
And these are the things that you could expect to have to do if you were buying this house. This is what you could expect to buy. So it's really, it's a very honest, not like, you like it, you want to buy it? You can't approach it that way.
Right. That roof's going to last another 30 years.
You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. It's $10 at Home Depot and a cold beer. That's not the case. It's thousands and thousands of dollars. And when you're helping a customer that just doesn't have all the funds, and something like that catastrophic could really upend it. It needs a brand new roof, or the electrical is just shot. It looks like Uncle Dave put it together.
Yep.
You can't have that. You've got to say, this isn't probably not one I would recommend for you and your family.
Yeah, and you might be thinking, well, how do you guys know that info? You're not contractors. Well, the way I know it, and we'll see what Eddie says, is I attend almost all of my home inspections. Mm-hmm. So I'm right there whenever they're saying, okay, the roof is a 30-year shingle. Obviously in Pittsburgh, you guys don't have shingles down here.
Right. Well, we do.
Let me tell you what a shingle is. A shingle is a square piece. No.
We have the shingles. They actually don't last as long because of the sun.
Totally.
You guys have it because of the snow.
Snow and storm,
Cold.
So we gave a lot of good buyer tips, a lot of good seller tips. Please comment below wherever you're seeing this, what you thought. Maybe you disagree. That's fine. Put that info down. Maybe you agree. That's fine. Maybe you want to see us talk about something else. That's fine. Put it down as well. Hope you enjoyed the info, and then we're going to move on to the next thing, which is my favorite, and that's game time.
It's go time.
Game time. So I have trivia for this one. We're going to test Eddie's knowledge, but I'm going to ask the question, and what I want you to do is think in your head. You can comment below if you want what your answer is, and we'll see if it matches up to the expert. All right, trivia time. So Eddie, a little bit of history on the trivia question. I'm going to make it multiple choice.
Please.
You got 50-50 chance. The United States purchased which state from Russia in 1867 for a mere $7.2 million? Do you know? Hold on. Go ahead, put your answer down, scribble it down before he answers and see if you know it. I'll give you some time to think. 1867.
Alaska?
It is Alaska. It is Alaska. So I was going to give you a multiple choice, Alaska or Hawaii, but it's Alaska, which in a little bit of facts, a little bit of data here. It's the equivalent. They bought it for $7.2 million back in 1867. That's a lot of money back then. So it's the current day equivalent of $185 million today. And you know, that's still a paltry sum for an entire state in today's day and age. All right, so he's 1 for 1. How did you do? All right, we'll get back to you. Okay, next one. What building was built to be the tallest of its time in New York City? The Chrysler Building or the Empire State Building? Hold, think. Answers, anybody? Any answers? Okay, write it down. Chrysler or Empire State Building. I think I'm going to get him on this one. This is a little tricky one. What do you think?
I'm going to go with Chrysler.
Ah, that's correct. How do I stump you?
Man.
Did you know that or you're guessing?
No, actually, I did know that.
Okay, you know anything else about it before I spew some facts?
No.
Okay. So it's pretty cool. Whenever I researched this, I thought this was very interesting. In an effort to build the tallest building in the world, the architect responsible for the Art Deco Chrysler Building on New York's East Side secretly added a built-in spire, which is basically like a sword of sorts. That's about 125 feet. So when the building was all done and other skyscrapers reached their completion, this architect instructed the builders to push the spire up to make the Chrysler Building the tallest building in the world. Now, another trivia question. How many months did that last before the Empire State Building? I'll give you some multiple choice. Okay. I'm going to give you 4 answers.
All right.
10 months, 11 months, 12 months, or 13 months.
Oh, short. Because I knew it was going to be short anyway. I'll go with 10.
You're close, but you're wrong. Bam! It's 11 months. So It was only the tallest building in the world for 11 months, which was eventually overtaken by the Empire State Building, which held that crown for 40 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's a big deal. You're doing pretty good. Okay.
Huge deal.
So, another trivia question. I'm all over the place. I'm in different countries. I'm in different states. So now, in which country? China or Japan? Is it almost impossible, you're gonna like this, to buy a resold home? You almost can't buy pre-sale homes in this country. Think about it. Density, land availability, if you know anything about those two countries, China or Japan, but you can't even buy a pre-sale resold home.
Well, I was going to go with Japan, but the minute you said density, that makes me think of China.
Final answer, please.
China.
You're wrong. It was Japan. Oh. So let me give you some information. I thought it was really cool. Most of the houses depreciate in value, and more than half of them are demolished after 30 years. Wow. We call that infill. Where I am in Pittsburgh, we have a lot of old homes. Sometimes it's not feasible to gut them and rehab them, so they knock them down and build new ones. I think they do that in Florida as well. Probably more so down in the Miami area, where it's a little more dense.
Yeah, for the density.
Yep. So another fun fact about it, there are 4 times more architects and 2 times more construction workers per capita in Japan than the United States.
Wow.
That's because they're always knocking down houses and rebuilding them. Okay, one more piece of trivia. Yeah, you're 2 for 2. One more piece of trivia before I have to pull up some flashcards, so to speak, some visual. Okay. So Apple. The company Apple, we all know it. You probably have it in your pocket right now. They bought 1 acre of land for $1.7 million off of an elderly couple, which paid $6,000 30 years ago. For which purpose? As a research center or as a data server? And I'll repeat it while you're thinking about it. Apple, we all know them. They bought an acre of land for $1.7 million recently. The elderly couple they bought it from paid $6,000. That's a heck of a profit margin 30 years earlier. And Apple put what on it? They put a research center, they put a data server.
I'm going to guess it because you can put a data server almost anywhere. I'm going to go with the research center. It must have been an important piece of property.
Wrong. It was a data server. Yeah. You know, and this was a while.
Thinking.
Yeah. They say your first answer is always the most correct answer. You're going to see some images flash up on your screen, and Eddie's going to see it here in the studio. We have 2 options: herringbone and chevron. We're going to show you one picture, everybody. You take a guess on which one it is. Eddie, what do you think that is?
I'm going to guess herringbone.
Victory! So, Eddie, how do you know this? Give me a little backdrop on how you would know this.
I know this from a very real estate way.
Right?
Backsplashes.
It's perfect. I didn't know down in your area or if they
Backsplashes.
backsplashes. How about showers?
Yeah, showers too, but I just started
Okay.
learning it when actually a buyer was looking to decide between chevron and herringbone.
Okay.
So.
Do you get involved in new construction with your buyers?
I did when I was practicing in Chicago, not so much here in
Okay.
Florida yet, but so yes, some remodels and things like that.
Okay. I don't have any fun facts about that question other than I got the answer wrong and I created all this. All right, so this is kind of weird one. I don't know. Do you guys even have radon down here?
No, but we did in Illinois.
Oh, okay.
Again,
So you
back in Chicago.
guys don't do radon tests in Florida? I mean, it's such a big deal in Pittsburgh. It's like life or death.
It was a big deal in Illinois.
And not down here, we don't even care. Okay. All right.
Maybe because we have basements too over there. I don't know. We don't have basements here.
Yeah, that's true. That is crazy. Okay, so radon levels in Canada. What's the maximum acceptable level? 4.0?
They measure it in microns?
It's measured in something else, but I had to convert it to get the answer.
Okay.
So is it 4.0 or 6.9? What do you guys think?
Yeah.
All right, so in Canada, what do you think it is?
I'm gonna say 4.0.
So in America, it's 4.0 picocuries per liter. In Canada, it's some other measurement, but it converts to 6.9 picocuries per liter. So you were wrong on that one, unfortunately. Florida, they don't have radon. So if you're looking to escape the radon,
Yeah,
Florida is where you want to come.
exactly. Plus you're outside most of the time anyway, because it's Florida.
I love Florida. All right, moving on. Is that a portico share, image A or image B?
Image A.
Image A is correct, and I expect you to know that because golf courses, hotels, high-end houses down here in Florida all
Very
have
possible.
portico shares.
Very popular, especially amongst the Tuscan architecture, which is very much prevalent.
What is the, is it just protect them from the rain, or is it a status symbol or portico share? Or-
It's both.
Yeah, because it would cost a lot of money to have that added on construction cost-wise, I would imagine.
Yeah, it is, and it's just another element to add, decorative and size and scale to, home. It's obviously usually tied in with a lot more of a elegant type of
Yeah,
architecture.
yeah. And you said it's mostly Tuscan?
A lot of times I see it as a Tuscan feature.
Yeah. Mediterranean?
Mediterranean,
Yep.
Tuscan,
Yeah, definitely not-
right up in there.
Definitely not modern, which is what I like.
No.
And I don't understand why in Pennsylvania we have inclement weather all the time, why we don't have a portico share.
From a practical purpose, when you have inclement weather,
Right.
it's lovely.
Yeah.
Just park right under there and grab your stuff and go right up in your door.
Spoiled.
Yeah.
All right, two more. Okay, so we're going to show you two images. You tell me which one is a cul-de-sac. What do you think? Image A or image B? I know what I'm
Ready
going
for
to
my
go.
answer?
Yeah, let's go.
B.
I'm going to go with image B as well. And image B is correct. Image A is a speed reduction island, which is, I guess, the architectural answer whenever I research this. Back in Pittsburgh, we call those things roundabouts. You guys call them roundabouts here?
Yeah, I think I still call them roundabouts.
Yeah.
Yeah, we call them, confusion corner sometimes. we do have one in Stewart.
You guys have one on the way here, right out front.
They're very popular.
Yeah, right out front.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, cool. The last one, and I wanted to touch on a lot of construction stuff for buyers that are just maybe building a house or looking at different architectures and have no idea what that is. But our last one, it's pretty big in Pittsburgh. I know they have it down in Miami. It is a trellis. So is it image A or is it image B? Which one do you think is a trellis?
Image A.
Image A is correct.
I see people, wrap some lights in them,
Oh.
or the greenery. Mature greenery is always really beautiful with blooming flowers, so it's a really nice feature here.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, that's our show. Hopefully we gave you some good data if you're a buyer, some good points if you're a seller, reasons to call Eddie and I because we're the trusted experts that have done this forever and don't need to get paid. I'm just kidding, we need to get paid. And we gave you some construction and some cool real estate facts. So make sure you join me on the next episode. Eddie, thank you very much, my friend.
Thank you very much.
All right, have a good day.
This is Road to Close with your host, Brian Teyssier.